my first question or a topic is how did you choose grassroots? What motivated you to choose grassroots? You've been working in a lot of places, and along with this, what we have found from the records that you are a player. Okay, so what is the factor? What is the motivation behind the transition between being a player to working for football? You've been working for football from a long time, at least through
Right.
AIFF.
Yeah. So
Please go
before
ahead.
I answer your question, just want to say good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Aritro, and your entire team. And I really hope everyone is doing well. I understand situation is very difficult to adjust, to accommodate, but I hope you are trying your best and your spirit is high, because this is what we learn from sport to adjust with all the situation, accommodate, learn, grow, and excel in life. This is what we have learned, and this is what sport taught us, and I really hope that you're all fine. Okay, coming back to your question, Aritro. So you asked me about like the transition, like from playing to working. I think that transition is not happened yet, because somewhere inside playing, interest for playing, and that hunger still remains, but still yeah, that's life. And I have adapted to my working lifestyle since like many years now. So I was working in Mumbai, and I was juggling many things when I was working in Mumbai. Like I was studying, completing my graduation, I was working, and also I was playing. So somewhere it was very difficult for me to keep up with everything, and it was a forceful decision. Actually, it was not like I don't wanted to play and just start working for football, but it was like kind of circumstances. I had to adjust with it. And what I felt is like, throughout my life, playing sport was always difficult, like getting on this ground and doing stuff every day. It was always a challenge. And while working in Mumbai, I felt like if any boy or any girl will not get particular guidance or maybe particular exposure in life, that boy or girl won't be able to really grow at certain level, or won't be able to learn what they should be learning at that particular age group. And I, like, when I'm saying this, it is absolutely, I'm talking about grassroots age group. So I started playing football pretty late. Like for me, the grassroots age was absolutely missing. So that's the reason. That was a forceful decision though, but then I decided that if I'm not able to really study completely, or maybe play full time, so let me just focus on working for football, where I can help millions of kids across the country. And most importantly, as I mentioned about that guidance. So I feel like if we can have such people across the country, those who can guide those youngsters, then we have long way to go. So there, like I decided that I want to keep working for football and not only keep playing, and then that transition happened. You also asked me about like why grassroots. So as I mentioned about guidance and exposure, two things in life. Any small boy or girl would like to have such aspect in life throughout their grassroots age group, basically. So like I just got an opportunity to work with AIFF. That was definitely a blessing. And like, as everyone is aware, like I have played football, and we used to play under the banner of All India Football Federation. I have played a lot of championships, and I got opportunity to play, like work for that banner. It was something really great for me. And then like when I actually understood like what is grassroots development program, and why we need to develop, and how it will help youngsters and also coaches. I had attended one FIFA course, I remember. It was in Calcutta itself. And since then, my journey started for grassroots development, basically. Yeah.
And coming to the next thing, so how was your journey playing or working in AIFF? You had a long time in AIFF, and that's why people ask, all the you were an instructor
Missed
from
your
AIFF, also the head of AIFF. Can you hear
mm-hmm.
me?
Yeah, I just missed
Yeah.
your
So about your journey in AIFF. Can you hear me now?
first part, I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, say it.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Clear?
yeah, I can hear.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
how was it? How was your journey in
yeah,
AIFF
yeah, yeah.
with All India Football?
Journey. Oh, you mentioned the journey.
Yes.
All right. So as I mentioned, like it was a blessing, and like I have spent like more than 6 years with AIFF, and it was an incredible journey in terms of learning and visiting the entire country, learning the programs, learning the culture, and making myself better professional every single day. It was definitely a great journey. I started working with AIFF like 2013, and it was a like grassroots inception. Like it was a start of the entire program when I joined. And like initially, when we started working, it was very difficult time for sure, because grassroots program was always there in India, but it was not in a systematic manner.
Yes.
Like that awareness was not there across the country. Definitely, like metro cities. There was football and small boys and girls used to play, but people were not really aware like why that particular age should play football, and how they can develop, and how that experience will help throughout life. So like we started working with state associations. Again, it was a great challenge to convince people like why grassroots is important as a whole in the entire footballing development ecosystem. It was a great challenge, but like throughout 6-7 years, like AIFF did a lot of things to help a lot of entities, help all the stakeholders to develop that particular ladder for sure. um so from developing that particular age group, plan for the status and all, because that system was definitely not there, and the fundamental gap in the player development was seen. Like it was a very important aspect where AIFF had to take decision of developing that particular age group. So yeah, I mean, it was very interesting journey. I enjoyed, I learned a lot, and yeah, and I'm not working with AIFF full time right now, but yeah, I keep helping. I keep working with AIFF as I'm part of AFC now also. Yeah, Ritro.
So, like about us in our organization, we started off in 2016, and then we went to do our first AFC Grassroots Day back in 2017. So
Mm-hmm.
working up in this baby league and golden baby league,
Mm-hmm.
so we face a lot of trouble. I won't say trouble. This is basically the parents,
Mm-hmm.
they are like, they focus more on results than on game time. Can you
Mm-hmm.
address those parents?
They
It
focus
should be
on
a
they focus on what you said, Aritro.
focus on results than
Result.
game time. See,
Okay.
because if some team is losing, or let's say in the bottom of their parents is like they won't take their kids the next weekend when they have their matches.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something our hard work doesn't reach. We
Right.
work hard for Golden Baby League, but
Mm-hmm.
that is something that needs to be addressed. Only then the initiatives will reach to its peak. So can you say something about this?
Right. So, like when you're talking about parents want their kids to, win games. Like when you're talking about results, it means they want to win the games. So, if that spirit is there, I won't say it's the biggest problem. But I will say it's a challenge for sure, that where we have to have that education in place where parents will understand winning is definitely important in life. I will never ask anyone, any parent or any human or players to stop thinking about winning. It is definitely very important aspect in life, but we just need to understand the intensity. So when we are working in grassroots football, especially 6 to 12 years old children, we have to so every action that we do in football, we must look at that particular action where they should master it. Well, in practical sessions, they can play better when they are playing. So here, lot I think depends on the education. Those who are working, they should more focus on how you can create that awareness for parents, and how you can help them to understand basically. Yeah, Rithra. I cannot hear you, Aritra. Hello, hello. I cannot hear you. I think like I'm getting few messages saying that it was not clear. I'm not sure if it is your network or my network. Um, but I think I also have network issues, but I'm at place where my network is pretty clear. I have been doing a lot of sessions from this place. So okay, Charlton
Can you
Fernandez,
hear me
now
now?
it's okay. Yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yeah,
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
talking about that, so coming to our next topic, which is about women's. Recently, or not recently, in the baby leagues, what we see is when there is a under 8 league, you have girls playing over there, and as the
Mm-hmm.
age grows, the involvement of girls, this decreases. Can you so
Mm-hmm.
anything upon the involvement of girls in grassroots? For the overall development of women football, we also have the Women's World Cup coming next year from 17 to 17 February to 7th March. So anything upon that?
So, about women's football, if you see, like, last some years, like, since like I'm working with the AFF, I was working with the AFF, I think there's a lot of development for sure. Like, during my playing days, I remember the exposure was pretty less. But, if you see all these years, it has been improved a lot. So, having said that, it's definitely not enough. We have to focus more on how young girls can get on the field, so that we can build better state teams and also national teams. So again, it's more on the communities, the schools, the parents, the coaches working in grassroots football, how they can bring them on the field so that they can enjoy sport. And they can stay in sport for longer period. And also it's very important. I remember, like, when I started playing football, I used to play with boys most of the time, and that comfortable environment is very important. And like most of the time when I played, I never felt welcome, kind of, because of, obviously I don't blame anyone, because of the environment and the kind of culture we had. So like young girls coming on the field, it is very important for coaches, for organizers to create that environment where they like coming. At the same time, when I spoke about like parents education, how we can create awareness, so that they also feel like sending their child on the field. And somewhere, organizations, coaches, they
It's not audible, Can't hear you.
to make values we learn from sports.
For a moment, we lost you. So can you just repeat the thing, the answer?
Network area is very poor. Very poor. আমাকে রিজয়েন করতে বলা নেটওয়ার্ক এরিয়া খুব পোর ম্যাডাম আটকে যাচ্ছে বলতেছি না আমার নেটওয়ার্কই পাওয়া যাচ্ছে না আমার এখানে ফুল স্ট্রেংথ আছে
Hello.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't know.
audible.
Yeah, like I don't know what happened.
Yes. Network issues probably. So you're audible.
Yeah, like I don't know, Arithro, like I'm getting messages saying that they cannot hear me. I mean, I don't know what's the problem.
Yeah, in between, it stopped for a while.
No, but still, like while I'm talking, I'm getting a lot of messages here like they cannot hear me.
It stopped for a while.
Okay, I don't know, like I don't know what's the problem, because I have done a lot of sessions from this place, but I don't know what's the issue. Yeah, you go ahead, Arithro.
So that is something which we wanted you to share. The involvement of girls, which we see, as the age increases from under 8 to under 12, we see it is decreasing. No matter how much people say, women empowerment, gender equality, equal playing field, but still, when it comes to taking actions, it is the actions are just for the namesake. So really doesn't happen. So what are the major steps that grassroots can take up to for improving football for women's?
Right. So, like, again, it's not only on in like football. I would say this is in all sport basically. If you see, there is a huge percentage. when girls are getting into further studies, or maybe they are deciding on their job or getting married. Like normally if you see, there is a huge dropout. So again, it's definitely not only about coaches putting efforts to develop this entire aspect, but it is community's responsibility basically, and it is everybody's responsibility, whoever is working for the call, whoever is working for the cause, that how we can create more opportunities, how we can again help them to stay passionate, stay interested for that particular game. It is all in everybody's hand basically. And also somewhere down the line, it's also on players. Like I remember, like during my playing time, there were so many players, so many girls were playing from like school time, and they played senior nationals and all that. Like if I see now, like most of them, they got married and they are working somewhere else. Some of them still try to get connected to football, but the numbers you see, the percentage you see drop out, it's a huge number. So somewhere, girls also need to take that initiative, need to take that decision, where they also want to stay connected to sport for sure. And see, like what I believe in sport, it is not like set pathway that step one is this, step two is this, and then this is how you go ahead. It is you need to create opportunities, you need to prepare yourself in such a manner where you can fit in the industry. So yeah, it is a lot on people, girls, on their own, like their own decisions. Yeah. So it depends. But again, as I mentioned, if I have to compare from my playing time till today, there is a huge difference now. You see a lot of girls taking up sport from grassroots, and also if you see at highest level, the referees, the coaches, managers, you see a lot of girls doing all such jobs.
And like you said, the involvement of girls is low. Still people are taking up. One of the questions or something that the coaches, the newly AFF D license coaches shared is, whenever a female, they go for a coaching license, like going through the course, they have always felt the need of more women coaches in India. They have kept on saying me that they all are boys. They're all boys, and she's the only girl over there. So
Right.
do you think the women coaches are something we need more in India? Because to be honest, there are limited coaches. The limit is very low. You are one of them, giving example. So anything for them, the coaches who have done the D, maybe they might be aspiring coaches in the future, women coaches or C, B, something like that.
So,
Anything at all?
coaching journey is definitely a challenging journey. It's not an easy job that you do every day. And when you go for courses, it is not only about holding a certificate and saying that, oh, I'm D license coach or C license coach. It is all about putting your efforts every single day. So. And then again, I will again emphasize on that, this number got changed for sure. If you see over the years, you see a lot of women's taking up coaching field. You see a lot of schools basically. If I have to see private schools or like government schools, you see a lot of women's, like trying to coach grassroots kids, if it is boys or girls. I see that when I used to travel for AIFF's work, I have seen a lot of them. So like again, one should be ready to take up that challenge. uh, Federation wants, or maybe state associations want, or any entity shows that interest that women should take up coaching. It's not going to happen like that. It has to be their interest as well, right? They should be ready to fight. And like if you see right now in the country, there are a lot of women coaches, young coaches. They are trying to go for licenses, and they have achieved You see IWL now, like you see most of the teams are headed by the women coaches. So somewhere like young generation will definitely take inspiration for them from them, and we will be able to see more women taking up coaching in future for sure. But as I mentioned, it's a everyday struggle. It's a everyday challenge where one need to decide if they want to you know do it every day. Yeah.
Okay, so coming to the next topic,
Mm-hmm.
do you believe that coaches, especially in grassroots, they need to be educated? As in, a basic education, knowledge about football, grassroots is required. Anything upon that? Especially, AFF, initially, earlier, it used to be D-license, the first course of action for licensing. Now, the
Mhm.
AFF has made it compulsory to do the E-license. And
Right.
also, they have also asked, in the coming season, even the Golden Beverly League operators will have a chance to organize E-license, which is it used to be called as grassroots license. So, do you
Right.
think that is a necessity? Or what are the opportunities, or what do I say, something gains from doing an e-license and involving themselves, the coaches, aspiring coaches, into sports, into grassroots football?
Mm-hmm.
Anything upon that?
So like I remember like when I was working with AIFF and when we just started working for like proper developmental plan across the country. So uh, like normally when we used to look at grassroots, centers, grassroots setup. So like I still remember people talking about this, and people making statement that if it is grassroots, let's have someone who's not good, or maybe who's like maybe someone free, who's not having any role to play. So in that case, um, if we were same like maybe 5 6 years back, then maybe like what is happening in the country right now. There are so many private academies, and there's so many set up in the country right now trying to develop grassroots football. Maybe it was not possible. So yes, as your question itself mentioned, that it is very very important that we need to have educated people working for grassroots development in the country, because it is a starting point. This is where kids are going to create interest, or remain in that sport because of your approach, because of your guidance, your work, what you're going to do as a coach every day. So yeah, and I think this is one of the reason AIFF decided many years back that we need to have education system where coaches will be educated on how to develop 6 to 12 years of age group, and what is important, how we need to understand them, if it is characteristics, or if it is about conducting training session with them, on holistic development especially. And that's the reason AIFF decided to put in grassroots content in place, grassroots course in place, and from there the education started. So yeah, what I would say, grassroots football is such ladder where anyone can take part, where anyone can contribute. But that doesn't mean that you will not improve, or you will not have any footballing knowledge, and you are just trying to develop grassroots football. No, it is very important that you have that passion in you, where you want to learn every single day, and you want to help young generation, and not just just doing your job for like just you're doing every single day. No, there has to be goal, there has to be vision why you're working every single day, and you need to realize that somewhere you're contributing definitely to the country. At the same time, you are simply contributing to somebody's life. It's all about life. It's not about one session you are going on the field every single day, but somewhere your work, your contribution is helping that child to take throughout life. So yes, having educated people on board with any entity across the country is the most important thing. If you don't have that knowledge, then obviously you always can learn and make yourself better every single day. But yes, I would say, like, no entity should have people, those who are not having interest or passion for the game, or they don't put efforts every single day. So it is the most important thing. Yes, Aritra. I can see some questions.
Hey Anju, this is Nilesh. Just wanted to ask one question. We talk about motivating child, kids, and women and all. So when we can expect your biography or biopic?
Well, I mean, I don't know. So I think I'm still working, and there is a long journey. I think I have to do a lot. I have to learn a lot. So, but yeah, I'm like, I'm always ready and happy to help people as much as I can. Wherever I am, doesn't matter if I'm working for the country, for federal, like Asian Federation, or maybe club. But yeah, my job is to help the society, help the community, help people. So I will continue with that. But yeah, I have no idea about it, and I have never thought about it, to be honest. But thanks for your thought. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah, Aritro, can we go ahead with your next question? Okay, if, like, I don't know what's the problem with Aritro, but I'm reading one question. Someone is asking, Ajay Singh. Ajay Singh is asking, can you please guide us on setting up a grassroots academy for rural or semi-rural areas? That's the question I can see. So, like, Ajay, with your this thought only, I think you have already started working for your vision. If at all you want to set up any academy in rural or semi-rural areas. So see, like, I don't feel, or I don't see any rocket science in developing grassroots football, but it's more about your passion. It's more about your commitment, and it's more about.
You are muted.
Hello. I
Audible.
don't know how this happened, man. I mean, I did not even touch, but still I'm on mute. I don't know how. Okay, can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so, like, I think I was reading somebody's question. I don't know if I was not. I think I was not audible. Huh? Aritru, can you go ahead with your next question?
Yeah, just so what is your journey with Asian Football Confederation? Recently, we have learned that you are a AFC grassroots panel member. So what
Mm-hmm.
exactly do you do there, or how are you involved in that?
Okay, so
Anything about that?
before I answer, Aritru, when you are asking next question, I don't know, just see, because when I'm finishing my answer, like, I cannot hear you, I cannot see you. I don't know what's the problem. So yeah, so, like, coming back to your AFC question, so it's been an year I'm working with AFC. Obviously, I was also working before, but from the federation side. But now I'm the panel member and technical expert. So what we do, like, there is a group from across Asia. Like, there are experts, those who have done more work in grassroots side, and those who have been showing commitment. Such people are there on the panel. So basically, our job is to assess program of various countries in Asia, help them to develop the strategies, help them to set the benchmarks, help them to, uh, go for, further charter. Basically, I'm not sure if everybody is aware about AFC grassroots charter, but you can always Google and just simply read it, what grassroots charter is all about. So yeah, we just help various countries. So like so far I have assessed 4 countries. It's a great experience, and it takes a lot of time, some months to complete one assessment, because there are various stages where we communicate with the countries, federation. We try to understand their program, we try to help them to develop certain strategies and build on their program, and see where there is a opportunity, where they can build it, strong programs basically. So yeah, that's what I do. But unfortunately, since the lockdown, we had one meeting in KL, but we could not really go for it. So yeah, we are just waiting, like how we can just overcome this and start again and start the grassroots activities across Asia. Yeah, that's what I do with the AFC, Arithro.
Well, that's a nice journey in the AFC. Now,
Mhm.
recently, in the AFF website, we saw that India received the AFC Grassroots Charter bronze membership.
Right.
So, how did that happen? What was the hard work, the journey, the struggles? Something you want to share something about that? I
So,
remember India and Turkmenistan received that at the same time. So, that was the question.
right. So, I remember on my last day of AIFF, last working day of AIFF, we submitted the application to the AFC, and in February we got the result. So yeah, definitely it's a great thing for the country to achieve bronze membership. So again, for the audience, like I'm not sure if you're aware about AFC Grassroots Charter, but AFC Grassroots Charter is an endorsement tool for each country in Asia, where AFC try to help to develop their programs, set the benchmarks, and it's just kind of a tool. So we have like 24 memberships in Asia right now. 3 for gold, 4 for silver, and rest for bronze. So India is in bronze category right now. So it's definitely great achievement. But since like India is such a great and huge country, so we can definitely go for further memberships. And I'm sure like we need to do a lot of work, but not only from federation side, but people like all of us, we all need to put in hard work, real work, so that federation can try for further membership in coming years.
Receiving the bronze membership was a great mark in the history of AIFF.
Yep.
So, climbing up the ladder to the silver membership or bronze membership, what are the things or developments that we require in the country, which you believe can be done in the future, and we can receive that. We can go with the likes of Australia, Japan, South Korea, who are currently, as I have learned, are the gold members.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, three countries. Right. So, basically, there are 20 criterias to achieve any membership. If it is bronze, silver, and gold, each category you will find 20 criteria. So as everyone is aware, AFC Grassroots philosophy says all non-professional football comes under grassroots umbrella. So what Japan, or what such countries are doing, Australia and all, to achieve gold membership. It is all about having more and more football in the country. It is all about coming more and more people in the grassroots ladder to develop football. So if I have to explain 20 criterias, it will take a lot of time, but I would suggest everyone to just, Google it and just go through all those 20 criterias. You can simply find it on AFC website also. So you will find there is a difference from bronze to silver to gold in terms of the activities, basically, in terms of the participation. So so for example, if I have to tell in bronze, if we can simply have one structure at the federation in terms of grassroots development, it is enough. But if you go further for the structuring aspect, for silver and gold, you need to have kind of panel in the country where people work for the grassroots development, make plans. So you need panels. So there are different criterias membership wise, the charter type, and then you grow. So to go further, it is important for all of us to have more and more activities in the country. Get involved all the categories under the AFC grassroots philosophy. If we will get all the criteria on, we just can go further for sure.
And how much do you think the schools play a part in developing grassroots
Absolutely.
football? Because every child, almost every child, they get a right to education. They go to schools. You
Yeah.
need schools somehow. They go to schools. So, how much do you believe a school can impact a player or potential player's career, starting involving them in football?
So definitely school plays a huge role for sure. So again, not only for football, but all kind of sport for sure. But if you see over the years, as I mentioned, like a lot of schools, they have been appointing coaches to help their young kids in the school. And it is a first step for any child, basically. If we have, I don't know if that is going to happen in coming years, but if we have compulsory football or compulsory all sport in each school, definitely it will help more. Because as I keep saying on all the platforms, whenever I conduct courses, or whenever I meet people, like I keep saying that grassroots age is the age where kids can adapt more and more. It is such time where adaptation can happen as early as possible. So it is important what we do with that particular age group, and that's where your kids are going to grow. So yeah, so in terms of techniques to play a game, or in terms of values of life skills, if we can all have this in school, it will help a child more and more to become better human, better player in coming years for sure. So yeah, and I remember one project of AIFF, that was Mission 11 Million project, where AIFF and government together worked to create awareness in schools in India. And I'm sure it worked well. It was not in terms of developing techniques, but it was all about just creating awareness. So yeah, we need to help schools, and we need to get schools on board, like each state, basically. Yes.
So, coming to the last question,
Mhm.
what do you think can be the possible ways of grassroots development in India? The standards. How can you raise the standards? You would see, people, the media, everyone. They always focus on the top leagues, I League, ISL, Max to Max. The youth leagues.
Mhm.
The people in baby leagues, they don't get that much of exposure. No exposure in the meantime. I mean to say something, in media or something. The only initiative taken by AIFF was, on 15th October, we had this India versus Bangladesh match, where
Mhm.
25 kids from West Bengal,
Mhm.
they were allowed to walk in with the players of India and Bangladesh.
Mhm.
So, what possible ways do you think, the kids will be engaged, or they'll be have the we can have their motivation high in coming to football? Because at that age, you don't dream about becoming a footballer unless and until something like Messi or Ronaldo. But then something for the kids or for the media to be involved in grassroots football.
Okay, so this has to be one of the strategy for sure when you're working in grassroots football, if you're an organization or coach or whoever you are, because again, if anyone is asking me such question like you did, Aditro, I don't see this question as like problem, to be honest, because if you have to look back, like let's take it 4 years back, the scenario was very different. Now, at least, like as you mentioned, like we had kids for international game where they can walk on the field. But previously, this thought was also not there. But now, if you see in the country, you know, we're trying to think how we can involve kids in particular program, or how we can arrange matches for them, how they can enjoy. So there is a progress, you know. But as you mentioned about, we don't get a lot of focus on graphics development. Yes, it is the fact. You know what? Disturbance are it. I don't know. Yeah, now it's fine. So it's a fact, and we have to live with it. And we all need to see how we can change this fact, because you cannot change this overnight, and you cannot force people to love and like grassroots development. Just like that. So it's a long process, and we all need to keep working for it. And like some years down the line, definitely we will be able to see people talking about grassroots football every single day. And I must say now also there is a lot happening. You see some clubs in India, and as I mentioned about you know. Um, a lot of private entities are putting a lot of efforts to develop grassroots football. Like I see ISL clubs like Bengaluru FC, FC Goa, like they're trying to put in a lot of efforts to develop grassroots football, and like entity like yours, every year you try to do something, and now also like you're talking about grassroots football. So I would say like this is definitely a progression. We are moving towards things. So yeah, we will have people talking about grassroots football, and this is how we need to create more and more awareness. Like all the people listening to us today, they can try a lot at their places. Like they can start creating that awareness. Whoever might be, like any stakeholder, it doesn't matter like who they are, but somewhere we need to trigger that, and people must start believing why grassroots, what is grassroots, what will happen, what is the benefit for long term. So that we all need to try basically. Yes, Aritra. Aritra, I cannot hear you. Somebody has written a long message.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was going through the questions, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
the attendees have made in. So
Mm-hmm.
I found a question from Aditya Kumar.
Mm-hmm.
Lost it with just a second. Yeah. So he says, ma'am, once a kid has been involved in a grassroots program for 6 to 10 months, what is the next step?
Uh, once kid has been involved, like 6 से 10 month के लिए involve होने के बाद उसके बाद क्या? That's the question, right?
That's he. I just read the question, whatever he
Yeah,
has
yeah.
written.
So basically, you're talking about one season. It's nice, Aditya, that you're thinking about future, like what happens after 10th month. So what you need to do, first you need to look at the age group you're working with. If it is, so there are three different age criterias in grassroots football: 6 to 8, 9 to 10, and 11 to 12. You need to look at what age group you are dealing with. And like it's nice if you have 6 to 7 months season for grassroots kids. Well done, I must say. Like it's definitely a great thing. So first of all, you
You've been muted.
Yeah, I don't know how this happens because I'm not even touching. This is crazy. I'm sorry, everyone, whoever is listening. I don't know how this works. Um, so, so yeah, I mean, you need to look at what actually you're doing in 6 to 10 months, like the regular matches, the regular training sessions, the exposure visits. Like you need to have kind of comprehensive program for all those months. So obviously, like in grassroots football also you need to have kind of off, like you have a kind of season and then you have few months off, 1 month, whatever it is, and then you again obviously you go for further season. So now when you go for further season, let's assume that you are working with 9 to 10 age group. Okay, you work for like 10 months for 9 to 10 age group, and then now when you go for next season, obviously kids are going to move to next age group. So simply you need to have another season well planned, like how many matches they are going to play, how many golden baby leagues, how many sessions they are going to have per week, what kind of content you are going to deliver. So again, according to the age group, we need to have different content, the intensity is different, the objectives are different, so you need to prepare. So when you have off season, you prepare for your next season and you just go ahead. That's it, Aditya. I hope I have helped you, Aditya. If you have anything, you can always
Yes,
email to
Mr.
me.
Yanda says he just wants to unmute and say something. So I would allow him if you can allow me to do so.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you have Mr. Yanlo unmuting him and share his views?
Yes, Yan.
Hi everybody, good evening ma'am, how are you?
Good evening. I'm good. Good. Hope you're doing well.
Okay. Just out of the context, I just want to tell everyone about Anju ma'am, So I've seen her for a long time and she's one of the reasons I got into the Indian football circuit. And I never got a chance to say this in front of a lot of people, but she discovered me as a young coach, got me to grassroots, got me through my licenses one after the other, made me an instructor. Slowly everything just fell into place, and I was very young at that point of time, and I made a lot of mistakes. She was always there like a rock behind me, always guided me through it all, and we need more people like her. So today I'm coaching in the I League, and I think a lot of people know that, but a huge credit goes to Anju ma'am because she took me out of just being an ordinary coach, you know, from nowhere and picking me up, getting me into the All India Football Federation. I know how much she fought for me because I actually didn't know there were other people in contest for that position, and I actually didn't know about this till I got appointed. So she didn't know me, but still she believed in me. She fought for me, and today wherever I am, I would like to thank Anju ma'am for that. So huge credit goes to her, and I just wish her all the best. Now she's the youngest A licensed women coach in India, the first women technical director of India. She's just a phenomenal human being, and there's lots more to come for her. And I wish you all the best, ma'am. And hopefully we work together again in the future. So till then, please take care. So thank you, Arithro. That's just what I wanted to say.
Thanks. Also, one more thing, if you remember, Yanlo was the first person who introduced me and FSA to the AFC Grassroots Day. We knew nothing about AFC Grassroots Day. We knew Indian football team and AFC, AFF full form and everything. Indian football team and playing. He was the one.
Arithro, you're muted again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how much he spoke. So Yanlo was the first person who introduced me and FSA to the AFC Grassroots Day. It was back in March 2017. I pinged him over WhatsApp, and he asked me to come down to IFA office. He was the development officer back then.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So he
So
was the one to introduce me to all this.
right. Thanks, Jan, for your kind words. But definitely, it's all about you, what you have done, because of your potential, your interest, your passion. Nothing I have done, to be honest. It was my job to look at talent and help people. So yeah, it's all about you. Like you're brilliant, so you have been shining. So yeah, thank you so much for your kind words.
Thanks,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah. Can we go for next question, please?
Not really that we have a question about, but anything for us or anything for all the grassroots people working in grassroots. Any motivational word or something?
Yeah, but I think there are a few questions I think people want to ask. Like I can read here.
Uh,
Okay, there are no questions. Like I don't know. Arithro?
we have a long one for Akash Rajput, at 419.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He says he's from RFC Football Academy. Okay. He's mainly speaking about, since it's long, so I'm making it short. He's mainly speaking about focus on women's football. He
Mm-hmm.
says that we only have the IWL, the Indian Women's League for women's. We don't have anything about, to for the in the grassroots. It is just that is he also asked that is AIFF and AFC have some plans to develop women's football from a young age,
Uh,
and
so Akash, thanks for your long message. I know Akash, like he has been working for women's football and obviously a lot more other stuff. So I hope you are aware that I'm not part of the AFF as such right now. Like I'm not working full time, but like AFF is just trying to strengthen like IWL. AIFF wants all the I League and ISL clubs to start with the women's team. And like when I'm seeing such, news, so like if we want to have teams at highest level, obviously somewhere we have to develop players. Otherwise, from where you are going to get players for your senior teams? So Akash, like in coming years, I'm sure like the scenario will change. Having said that, I have been saying about my playing days and Abhi ka jo situation hai, it's completely different. We have developed a lot, and we can see lot of progression for sure. But yeah, I believe like in coming years it will happen, because you see like IWL also was not there in the picture some years back, but now at least since few years at least girls are getting chance to play competitive kind of tournament. I won't say that a league. They're getting chance, like they get one senior championship and there are junior championships as well. Yeah, so it will increase for sure. I'm sure the period of IWL will also increase in future, but right now cannot commit anything. But I'm
okay,
just
so
optimistic.
I got an interesting one from Sports at RRIS. They
Mhm.
ask, ma'am, can you mention the AIFF future planning to increase the licensed coaches in India?
Okay, that's kind of important question. So like I'm not sure if you have read about the complete coach education plan, but there are a lot of changes happening right now. We have adapted the AFC like AFC is having now altogether different pathways to develop coach education, and every country should develop their own coach education system, and AFC will simply support. That's called coaching convention. Since last year we have been working on it. So yeah, there are definitely plans how we can increase the numbers, and it is not only about increasing numbers, but we want quality coaches. We want people, those who are trying to develop themselves every single day to become a better coach. So yes, definitely you will see like next 2-3 years there will be a lot of changes in coach education for sure. And also like I'm also looking after one course, like their education in terms of instructor education and all, and we all trying to just simply improve the quality of instructors, the quality of coaches, and quality of content we deliver. So a lot of things are happening at front. Yeah, Ridhu. Can we go for next question?
Okay, yeah. Orithro Nag at 437. what better interventions we can plan in terms of physical fitness and nutrition for grassroots and women's football also?
Okay. So in
Physical
terms of
fitness and nutrition for grassroots and women's.
Okay. So in terms of physical fitness first, especially about grassroots kids. So physical fitness must go along with your training, like what you do with kids every single day with the ball. So normally in this particular age group, especially when you want kids to be physically fit or able to do all the activities you're planning every single day, that is for playing football, right? So whatever you do every single day, you need to make sure that according to their capacity, according to keeping intensity in mind, you just need to work with the ball, and automatically kids are gonna improve. But somewhere you have to study that how much you should be doing. If you have, let's take it, passing objective for the session, so in passing, how you can put in actions, like more actions, so that kids also they are also getting physically fit on other side. But you're not excluding football from it to make them physically fit. It has to be with football, it has to be together, because physical fitness you are needing to play football basically. It is not two different things. So women football, it depends like what age group you are talking about, but like according to the age group, according to your objective, I mean, there are different things when you talk about physical aspect. But what I would suggest, if you really want to understand about it, there are also conditioning courses in India where you can learn more about how you can make players fit according to various age groups, and what kind of training programs you can put in. You can always try to learn that, but because I'm not sure, like when you're talking about women's football, which age group and like what exactly you want. But if it is even a girl talking about physical fitness for 6 to 12 years age group, it's the same for as you're doing for boys. So
Okay, so we have one from Ajay Singh at 357. He asks, ma'am, please state the basic details of setting up a grassroots academy in rural and semi-urban areas.
right, so I try to answer this, but I don't know, I was just unmute. I don't know kaisa hua wo. So like Ajay, if you're thinking about setting up an academy, अगर आपका ये सोच है तो I would say इस सोच के साथ ही like you are already doing some work, I believe, if at all you want to do it. So what I see grassroots football as, it's not rocket science at all in terms of planning or in terms of implementing. Absolutely not rocket science. It is a very, very simple thing. But we all need to simply understand what you are doing, why you want to do, and what is your long-term vision, whatever you want to do or whatever you are doing. You're getting my point. So to set up an academy, like basic thing you need is like educated coaches. You need to have where you can have regular sessions and they can help your boys and girls to learn football every single day. So you need to have educated coaches, and simply you need place to play football. And around that, definitely there are a lot of things where you have to look at safety measures, where you have to look at parent education, how you can create awareness among parents so that they will send their kids every day and they will understand the value of sport, and they will also understand like what will happen if their kids will keep continuing with football. What is the future plans, like what can happen in their future if they continue playing football. So all such things, like you need to first understand the angles, and then go ahead and you just need, like as I said, you just need education to coach, teach players. That's it. It's not rocket science. It's very, very simple thing. But then the most biggest problem is like the simple thing, we make it more critical, and then we simply don't do it. So we should not do that. Yes, Aritra.
We just received a few interesting questions in the last few minutes. Okay, just going through those.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I can read one question. Can Suman is asking, can you please tell us the impact of baby leagues on grassroots development? Okay, so baby league, it's simply one tool, one structure where kids can get platform to showcase their talent on regular basis. So it is again important for young players to explore their talent, explore whatever they are doing on regular basis in your training session. So it should go hand in hand. Your training sessions and playing matches should go hand in hand, because whatever they are learning in your training session, they should be able to implement in matches, basically. So it is just one structure created by AIFF where all the players will get platform to showcase their talent. Also, coaches will get chance to learn about handling of kids, like how they can handle when kids are losing or winning, how they can work with parents, because like as Arithro was mentioning about parents want simply result and no processes to be followed. So yeah, and obviously, like if players will play and train regular basis, this is how they are going to grow. So yeah, it's ultimate developmental aspect of grassroots for sure. Suman.
Nancy Gupta asks at 4:45.
Mhm.
Okay, so how can a newbie get into grassroots development program? Is there any specific course that one can do to get themselves into the organizing or managing part? Any specific selection criteria good associated with established clubs?
Okay.
Okay,
Nancy
this
has a
question
good
has
point.
three parts divided into three segments.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I understand. Yeah. So Nancy is a good friend of mine. We have played together. Thanks for this question, Nancy. So basically, if you see across the country, all the clubs, academies, there is no process like where you have to understand like process number 1, 2, and 3. It's not like that. As I mentioned, someone needs to be educated in terms of grassroots development. You need to have knowledge on how to work with particular age groups, and what kind of content you can prepare and deliver, how you can develop different age groups. If it is about various clubs in the country, like there will be a lot of ads, or people will just circulate messages like they're looking for coaches and this is how they appoint. But what I can say, like, for everyone in the entire country or entire world, everyone wants the best. If you want to get on any job, if you want to look at any opportunity, or if you are looking at any process, club is hiring people, or you want to work in grassroots football or youth football, so everyone is looking for best. If you're best, you get there, so yeah, this is how it works. And I would suggest, Nancy, you should go for e-license. I have been telling you since long. So if you go for e-license, it will really help you to actually understand, and yeah, you will definitely get opportunities to work in grassroots structure also, or you want to suggest anyone to work in grassroots structure. So go for e-license as soon as things get normal. Thanks, Nancy.
okay, ma'am. So, coming from e-license, there is Naomi Vase.
Mm-hmm.
She's asking, or he, if the district association is not conducting e-license courses, what is the process of a private organization to conduct an independent course? This goes in for the organizing of e-license for private organization.
Okay. All my friends are asking me question on this platform. It's a good thing. It shows that I don't talk to them
This
regularly.
also happens to
All
me.
right.
One would be my questions.
All right. So if you want to organize e-license and district association is not supportive, yes, any private organization can host the course. with help of state association. But I think she's from Maharashtra, so I know how Maharashtra works, like the district association, state, and then goes for AIFF. If any issues, obviously you can always get in touch with AIFF in terms of the request. But yes, no one can stop people to host courses, organize courses, or go for courses. So yes, private organization can do it. Yes, no.
So probably that wraps it up. Anything for us? Anything for this session, webinar that you would like to say?
Okay, so first of all, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for attending this session. Definitely a lot of disturbance. Not good, but I thought like it is also important to stay connected and try my best. So like the organization who organized this call, like they have been working in grassroots football since long, and I feel that I must help them. Whatever problems, or they tried their best with some problems also, but good, Arithro, and thank you so much for organizing this call. And all the coaches, those who are listening, I keep saying this to everyone. It is very important for you to put real efforts in whatever you are doing. Doesn't matter what level you are coaching, grassroots, youth, or senior football. Like your work will speak every day. If you want to grow in life, obviously every human on this world is trying to grow every single day. Everyone wants best out of their life. I'm sure like everyone will agree with me. But how you are going to achieve that? By giving your 100% in every small detail. So when it comes to coaching, whatever age group you are, working with, make sure every single day you go on the field and put in real work. When I'm saying real work, it means proper planning, yeah, proper implementation, with your 100% attention and with all your heart, and that's the reason we are in this industry. We are not there because we are doing simply job, but I think every person in the industry must do real work. And if all of us will do that, I think India will definitely win World Cup one day. Not today, not tomorrow, but let's just count some years, and it is definitely possible. But it is all dependent on people like you and me. If we'll try to just simply do work, right work every single day, it will help the country to go on another level. So just keep doing whatever you are doing. Keep learning. That's the most important aspect of life. If you think that you are a very big coach, have a pro license, A license, or whatever license, or you have played like 50 years and now you feel like, oh, like I know everything. No, that's not the case. Like whatever I am today, like wherever I have worked, definitely I'm not the best. Every day I learn, and then this is how we all grow. So have that attitude to learn, to grow, to adapt, to learn from every situation, help people, and see how you can be the best in the world. Yeah. And it is possible for everyone. Like with your every action, you need to try how you can be the best. And that's my suggestion to everyone. Like just learn, be the best every day, give your 100%, work with all your heart, and then success is all yours. So yeah, that's it from my end. Thanks a lot, everyone. I really appreciate your patience with all the disturbance. And I really hope that we get connected again and learn from each other, and try to learn more about grassroots for sure. Try to help your country, your state, and everyone around you. Thanks, Aritra.
Yeah, it was really nice having you, and thanks for joining in. And thanks everyone for joining in, taking out your time on a Sunday afternoon and joining us. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for
Yes.
coming in, helping us, supporting us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.